Have you ever noticed how some people walk into a room and instantly command respect? Not because they're louder, not because they're richer, and not because they're trying to impress anyone. Yet somehow, people listen when they speak. Their opinions carry weight. Their presence is felt before they even say a word. At the same time, there are others who work tirelessly to be liked. They explain themselves constantly, they try to please everyone, and despite all that effort, they still find themselves ignored, interrupted, overlooked, or underestimated. Why does this happen? Most people believe respect is something you earn through achievements, status, intelligence, or years of proving yourself. But psychology suggests something far more interesting. Research on human perception shows that people begin forming judgments about you within moments of meeting you, long before they know your accomplishments, long before they understand your character, and long before you've had the chance to prove your value. The truth is that respect is rarely something you chase. It's something you communicate, not through force, not through dominance, but through subtle psychological signals that tell people how you see yourself. Today, we'll explore 4 powerful shifts that quietly transform the way people perceive you, and why the people who receive the most respect are often the ones who need approval the least. Let's begin. The first shift is learning to speak with intention rather than speaking to fill silence. Many people assume that talking more makes them appear confident, intelligent, or important, but in reality, the opposite is often true. People who constantly explain themselves, defend every opinion, or feel the need to prove their point can unintentionally communicate insecurity. Because confidence doesn't rush to convince, confidence trusts itself. Psychologists have long observed that people tend to value things that appear scarce. When something is always available, it often feels less valuable. The same principle applies to communication. People naturally pay closer attention to individuals who choose their words carefully. Think about the people you genuinely respect. They don't speak just to be heard. They listen, they observe, they think, and when they finally speak, their words carry weight because every sentence has a purpose. The goal isn't to become silent. The goal is to become intentional. Pause before responding. Think before explaining. Speak because you have something meaningful to add, not because you're uncomfortable with silence. Often, a few thoughtful words create more impact than 1,000 unnecessary ones. The second shift is becoming comfortable with silence. Most people fear silence, not because silence is dangerous, but because silence creates uncertainty. The moment a conversation becomes quiet, many people feel an overwhelming urge to fill the space. They talk faster, explain more, or say things they never intended to say. But emotionally mature people understand something most others don't. Silence is not weakness. Silence is control. When someone interrupts you, resist the urge to compete for attention. When you've finished speaking, don't rush to defend yourself or fill every gap. Allow a moment of stillness. Let your words settle. This creates a subtle but powerful psychological effect. People begin paying closer attention because the conversation no longer feels reactive. Silence communicates comfort, and comfort communicates confidence. The people who command the most respect rarely fight for the spotlight. Their calm presence naturally attracts it. The third shift is learning to create boundaries without guilt. One of the fastest ways to lose respect is constantly sacrificing your own needs to avoid disappointing others. Many people confuse endless availability with kindness, but over time, it teaches others that your time, energy, and priorities are always negotiable. Healthy boundaries send a different message. They communicate self-respect, and people tend to mirror the level of respect you demonstrate toward yourself. This doesn't mean becoming cold. It doesn't mean becoming selfish. It simply means recognizing that your time is valuable, your attention is valuable, and your energy is valuable. Every yes you give comes at the cost of something else. That's why emotionally mature people aren't afraid to say, "I can't commit to that right now. That doesn't work for me."
I'll think about it and let you know. Notice there's no anger, no guilt, and no lengthy explanation, just calm clarity. Because the strongest boundaries are rarely aggressive, they're clear, they're consistent, and they're respected. The fourth shift is mastering your nonverbal presence. Before you speak a single word, people are already reading you. Human beings are constantly interpreting signals, your posture, your facial expressions, your eye contact, your movements. All of these communicate information long before language ever enters the conversation. Nervous movements often signal uncertainty. Rushed behavior signals pressure. But calm and deliberate movement signals self-control. And self-control is one of the most respected qualities a person can possess. Stand comfortably, maintain natural eye contact, slow down your movements, not because you're trying to appear powerful, but because you're no longer trying to prove that you are. People who know their worth rarely feel the need to advertise it, and that's precisely what makes their presence so powerful. Ultimately, respect begins with the relationship you have with yourself. Many people spend years chasing approval, hoping that if they're agreeable enough, helpful enough, successful enough, or impressive enough, respect will finally follow. But respect rarely grows from approval seeking. It grows from self-respect. The moment you trust your own voice, the moment you protect your own boundaries, the moment you stop desperately trying to be liked by everyone, something begins to change. People start responding to you differently, not because you've changed who you are, but because you've changed what you're communicating. The most respected people aren't always the loudest, they aren't always the richest, and they certainly aren't always the most popular. More often than not, they're simply the people who have learned to value themselves without relying on constant validation from others. And that quiet confidence speaks louder than words ever could. If you found this video valuable, subscribe to DMM-Silent Strength for more psychology-based insights designed to help you build emotional resilience, mental clarity, and quiet confidence in a noisy world. Until next time, stay grounded, stay aware, and protect your inner strength.